worship you. Say, every high thing must come down, every stronghold shall be broken. You wear the victor's crown, and you overcome. You overcome. We say, every high thing must come down, every stronghold shall be broken. You wear the victor's crown.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Okay, ni vijana ama si vijana? Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Very nice. Let's give it up for the worship team, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, say hi to your neighbor. I didn't say grab the hand of your neighbor. I said say hi to your neighbor. Follow instructions. I said say hi to your neighbor. You know, you'll go for an interview and you're asked, tell us who you are. Then you start saying, I am Collins. No, we didn't ask you what is your name. So follow instructions. Bwana asifiwe. It is such simple things. Let me ask you a question. John, uko na ATM card? Nisaidie ATM. Nani ako na ATM karibu? Nani anaweza kuwa na 500 yenye atumii yenye si offering, yani 500 tu ama 200? Mtu anisaidie ATM, mwingine anisaidie 200 ama 100. Very nice. Tuko na ATM hapa. Mwingine anipe 200 ama 500 tu tumii, si offering. Juu offering utaitishwa baadaye. 200. Yaani hakuna mtu akona hatuna kitu. Naona inatoka pale. Very good my brother. Let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. He's giving us something. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Now ladies and gentlemen, unataka kuongeza tukataa leta tu. Yes, the guy behind Esther. Yes. Very nice. Leta tu hata kama ni 50. Very nice, very nice. So niko na 250 na niko na ATM. Bwana asifiwe. So tuko hapa, hii inaitwa marketplace conversation. Bwana asifiwe. So what I'm carrying is 250, si ndio? Na hii ni ATM. Esther kuja tu. Sio. Huyu anaitwa Esther. Mpigeni makofi. Angalia hii kamera. Geuka hivyo. Kamera leo uko live kwa TV. Imagine. This is your moment of fame. Si ndio? Niko na hii. Na niko na hii. Ni gani unaanza? No, nikitaka kukupea ni gani utachukua kati hizi mbili? Hii ATM na hii pesa. Ni gani unaona ni muhimu kwako? So which one do you want? Unaacha pesa. Huko na pini ya hii ATM. Lakini pesa unaona iko hapa cash. Think wisely. Which one do you want? The ATM. Why do you want the ATM? This is your moment of fame. Angalia kamera.
Because you've given me the choice, meaning you can also give me the password, the PIN.
Let's clap for Esther. Meanwhile, si pesa niliuliza kama iko na kazi. Na wakasema ina kazi. Ni pesa tu ina float, si ndio? So asanteni sana. Sijaibia mtu, si ndio? But I like Esther's response. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here not for a shortcut. With this ATM, probably there's more than 250 in this account. But if you don't have that revelation, that knowledge and understanding, you will go for the 250 and leave the ATM. But before you access the more than 250 that is here, you need a revelation and you need PIN ya ATM. We are here to give you the PIN to the ATM in the workplace. Welcome to Market Plus Conversation. So right about now, allow me to invite my able guests. Naona hata sweetie iko tayari. My goodness, it is good to be a host. You can always sample. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, in no particular order, I want to invite my guest. First on stage, ladies and gentlemen, is a young lady. She's a mother, she's a wife. She's an IT consultant. By all standard, relax. Hatojasikia CV. Ama niachie hapo. Very nice. By all standard, she's a very senior IT consultant in the country. She works with M-Pesa Foundation currently as is it the head of IT? She'll tell us. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Melody Malusi. Until she takes her seat, ladies and gentlemen. Unaweza ya kula sweetie utingoja wengine. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a man, when he preaches with a lot of passion, vigor, and vitality. When this guy, I call him guy because we are very good friends. When this guy touches the mic, hata kama ulikuwa unataka kulala huwezi lala. Because this guy, and when he prays, there's a time I visited him at home. He stayed somewhere in Kajiado. I visited him at home and he said, we are going to pray. I'm used to sleeping early, but this day I couldn't sleep early because he prayed. When I thought we were done praying, he still prayed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Director of Faith Ventures, Alex Mwemi. Karibu sana. Wewe sitakwambia ukule sweetie, lakini sweetie ni zako pia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another wonderful lady in the house. She's the head of, I need to read this. I don't want to get it wrong. You know, these medical people, they can take you to court. Let me get this right. She's the head of clinical medicine. And wait, you've not heard it. She's vastly traveled. Wacha na umeenda Uganda. No. We're not talking about Uganda. Here we're talking about Hong Kong, Germany, USA, UK. And it's like a normal thing to her, you know. She's used to it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Margaret Wamboi. Wow. Mpigie makofi jamani. And by the way, she's also in charge of socio-economic status for the youth in this church. Now you know where to go to. Last but not definitely the least, is a senior pastor. This guy has raised up wonderful kids. I interact with these kids and I'm like, where was my father? He's a husband to a female wife who is also a pastor. They pastor at Life Church International Kenya Cinema, the Apostolic House. In fact, if you didn't know, he's a senior brother to the head of Life Church International Kenya Cinema. Kenya mzima. In fact, now we have Durban, we have DRC. I mean, this guy, but that's not all. Let me continue with the juicy part. is a PhD candidate. So this guy is soon becoming a doctor of philosophy. Okay, PhD, for those who do not know, is doctor of philosophy, meaning that is like everything you can have. After that, now we'll just call him a professor, a doctor. In fact, the next time we'll be introducing him here, we'll not be calling him Mr. It's either doctor or he leaves. Bwana asifiwe. Ladies and gentlemen, he's also a lecturer, by the way, at Moi University, if I'm not wrong. And he's also a senior business consultant. He consults for the government, for international organizations. He's worked in the UK and lived there. In fact, at some point, I thought he was a citizen until I realized he's a Kenyan. Bwana asifiwe. Let us put our hands together for Pastor Gigi. Wow. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let us allow the guests to take their seats. Then we can now take our seats. And by the way, for those who do not know me, my name is Collins Otas. I am a son at Life Church International Kenya Cinema. I am married to one female, beautiful wife. In the interest of time, the camera can pan that side as she waves. That is the wife. All right. So, this has been a long time coming. And the people on the sound, if you can provide us with another extra mic, I don't know if we'll have one, because we will need a mic going around in the audience at some point. I can see that there is none currently. Meanwhile, karibuni sana. Everybody has a mic. So feel free to turn on your mic and feel free to have it in your hands. The beautiful lady serving us some drinks is called Mercy Mukinya. Let's appreciate her. She's doing a beautiful job. Sa kama sai ndo nakwanga unajua uzuri ya kuwa host, uko na juice, uko na sweet. My goodness, sijui niitishe kitu kingine but after the show. All right. So I just want to take a round of introduction. I want to start from the extreme right. Alex, maybe you just give us a brief introduction of who you are, what you're doing in the marketplace, and just that for this moment.
Praise the Lord. My name is Alexander Mwendwa. I know people are used to calling me Alex, and I'm a business person. I'm the CEO, Faith Ventures, which deals with many things, venture, land, property, and other business interests. Thank you.
You're doing everything. What are you not doing? I think the only thing he's not doing is selling people, but he's a good man. Let's give it up to Alex. Yes, the beautiful lady over there.
Praise God. Praise God again. My name is Melody Malusinganga. I am a cybersecurity consultant in the data protection niche. I am currently at M-Pesa as an operations engineer for delivery. Thank you.
Wow. Wengine walikuwa wanasema engineer tu ni masura ngumu ngumu. Mnaona tofauti sasa? Let us give it up for Melody once again. Yes. Something wrong with the mic? Wow, let's give it up for Margaret. And finally, allow me to call him Dr. Gigi. Just introduce yourself.
All right, praise the Lord. And I'm a pastor here at Life Church International. And I'm also, like he said, consultant, public policy, strategy, analyst, and I'm an associate trainer with Daystar University, Daystar Leadership and Professional Development Institute. I'm also a lecturer at Jomo Kenyatta JKUAT. I teach economics, entrepreneurship, and I'm a student there in the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, finalizing my PhD, and in strategy implementation. Those are my specialization, and I'm a coach and an SME leader and trainer. So that's what I do.
Wow. So piga makofi. Piga makofi ndio wakati wako kufika upigiwe makofi. All right. So we just need to get and dive into this marketplace. I know it's kind of a gigantic word for some people, but marketplace. What is marketplace? What is this dinosaur called marketplace? And people wondering, marketplace. Preachers are like, you need to shine in the marketplace. You know, marketplace. Just, Pastor Gigi, in simple terms, just demystify this mystery, marketplace.
Okay, I think the word marketplace has become popularized because it is basically a way of creating a category. So marketplace or ministry, and I think it's more used in the Christian circles to distinguish people who are in ministry, full-time ministry, pastors, people who work in the church, and people who are working in the public space, whether private institutions or public institution or in business. So marketplace really is a catch-all for people working in various spaces other than the church, specifically the church or church organizations. I think that's what it means. It isn't a very easy term to define, and you don't need to worry too much. I think once you say I'm in the marketplace, or this is the space I occupy in the marketplace, I think you're trying to define that as far as it is separate from church, or if you are a student, perhaps you're not in the marketplace proper. So various spaces that people can occupy along the way as you grow. Yeah, that's, I think, what it is.
Wow. Alex, you know, Pastor Gigi just said that probably you're a student and you're coming from school and you're getting to the marketplace, you're getting to the area of career. I know you are a student at UON at some point. But me and you, we know you've never been employed, but you're in the marketplace. What are the choices? How did you end up there?
Kenyatta University. Yeah.
Kenyatta University. How did you end up there? You've never been employed, but you're in the marketplace.
Yes, that's a good one. I think, as you said, I finished Kenyatta University in 2001, April.
Unapiga makofi. 201 wengine hatuko tumezaliwa. All right.
And the following day, I was doing what I'm doing even now. And I think in short terms, what made me get to this was passion. Because even when I was in campus, and even right before I joined, I had the interest, or I was doing things, selling things. And I had interest, I just wanted to make money out of something. And that is why I've said I do many things, because when you trade with me, out of what you are selling me, I can make business out of that after the end of it. So I think passion drove me to getting to this. That's why even I started with the polythene, and even after the burning of polythene, I did not find myself in crisis. I am still there, and I bless the Lord. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. So he graduated on a Friday, and on Saturday was doing what he's doing today. That is in 2001. We are in 2023. 22 years you've been consistent. Wow. Melody. Consistency. How is it working for you in the marketplace? Because I know you've been to various institutions in terms of your work as an IT specialist?
Okay, consistency, having consistency as the cake and discipline as the sweetness of the cake is what will push you further. Because, okay, let me share my journey a bit,
Please do, please
touching
do.
on consistency. When I joined Strathmore University in 2017, and you know, when you join together, you just flow with what your colleagues do. But I told myself I want to stand out, I want to be different. So I joined clubs. So those who are in campus, please join clubs, they really help. And then, because it is through those joining of clubs that you'll get a word or two from someone. For instance, there's a site called Meetups and Bright Events. In those sites, when you sign up, there are a series of questions that you fill. So you decide what do you want to, what are your interests. So for me, I used to fill IT and anything related to IT. So anytime there was an event or a meeting that is held in Nairobi, I would get a notification on my email. So I used to attend all those events. I mean, I was single, I had the time. So I used to attend those events. And what happens when you attend those events, you meet people who've walked the journey before. So they are going to tell you what to do, what not to do, because you don't have to make the same mistakes that other people have made. So I used to be consistent with attending meetings. And when I used to attend those meetings, I would ask questions. For me, I like the adage, kuuliza si ujinga. So I'd ask questions. And I mean, what's the worst someone can do to you? Nothing. When you ask a question, and you never know, your destiny connector might be in the crowd, and maybe your question might spark something. So I used to ask questions, and that's how I continued expanding and getting more opportunities. Yes.
Wow. So there'll be a mic going round. Wewe nyamaza tu hiyo swali. Destiny connector ataenda. Usiseme we didn't organize this forum. So a mic is coming your way. Make sure you ask those questions. Now, Margaret, clinical medicine, head of surgery. So how do we choose such careers? Because I'm like, you study, I don't know for how many years, you know. How do we choose those careers? I know I can see some people who just finished high school the other day here. And soon they are going to that website of university placement. And they are going to be choosing careers. So how do you make a choice and say this is the direction to go?
Thank you, that's a good question. So tracing back to where I came from, first I want to appreciate my mother, who has been a very strong pillar to me.
Big up to the mothers, big up to the mothers. I mean, you need to appreciate people, you know? And mothers are very important. I like that bit of I want to appreciate where I have come from. Because you must understand where you've come from to know where you're going. Let's proceed.
Yeah, sure. So in my journey of becoming, my mother has been that one person who, through her, my father got born again. And through her again, so many meetings of prayers, many meetings of revival. I'm the firstborn in the family, so she used to tag me. Wherever she has to go with me. So one time in the hospitality department, so she used to go to the hospital with some women. So they go to pray for the patients. If they have some goodies, they share out. So every time when she's there, she has to go with me. So one day I told myself, God, if by any chance I happen to be in the medical field, I will want to do this even at the comfort of where you have blessed me to be in whatever capacity. So out of that one time we had a prayer summit where I was raised in Voi from Full Gospel. I respect Bishop Philip Kamau. He has been one of the pastors who, through Sunday school, as in everything, he has been one person who will support you. So there was such kind of a summit, and one person was invited. And when he was invited, I told them, I've applied for this school in particular, a medical school. So if I get a chance to get that position, I will come to your church. And that's, it's called Bethany House of Prayer. under Bishop Emily Wangoi. She was one of the leaders here who came during the Standing Strong ministry. So through her, as in, it started just a small thing where I used to just go pray with the patient, give them some goodies, and then out of that, you know, one of the funny things when everyone is called and is told, what do you want to be when you grow up? The funny thing answer I used to answer is, I want to be a pastor's wife. I don't
Pastor's
know.
wife, you are safe, don't worry.
Yeah.
You are very safe.
I was so small. So someone would like, what are you saying? So they used to laugh at me until that one time I said, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. It made sense to me. So this journey of seeing patients when they're in pain, patients when they are hurting, and having that knowledge of God, you are the great physician, and following the steps of the great physician, that has been a journey I've always desired. And one of the key verses which has always been one from the book of Proverbs 3:5-6, that trust in God with all your might, and in every way, acknowledge Him, and He'll make your path straight. So I've always acknowledged God in every step of my milestones have been. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So when I listen to the story, I hear passion, I hear persistence, I hear consistency, and I hear admiration of the things around you. So probably you're seated there and you're wondering, what is my career path? We jiangalie, fanya self-introspection. What is inside is what will come out. So it is you to influence your environment. So whatever it is that you know you're passionate about, what you like. Alikuwa napenda tu kupea wagonjwa biscuits. Probably unapenda kusimama pale kwa barabara, sitaki kusema what you do in the road. But you get what we are trying to get at, right? Bwana sifiwe. Are we together? Are we learning something? Wow. Now I want to shift the gear a bit, and maybe let me come to you, Alex. Self-employment. Is it the way to go, or should we still apply for jobs? And probably, as you answer that, Pastor Gigi, maybe you can tell us, are papers important anyway?
Thank you very much for that question. And I'm very happy for this meeting. And I really want to begin from the topic, rich young ruler. I think when you analyze that, it means what the baseline of what we are talking here is being rich while you are young. That means we must look at time and speed to achieve what we want. Otherwise, if we want to start telling you stories for 30, 40 years, we are not helping you.
Ukisikia point unapiga makofi. Hapo kuna point.
So, thank God for what Otas has asked. Is employment or business the way to go? This is the way I would answer. For us to achieve the time aspect, I would not say that business is the only way to go. But when you first go to school, as our sister has really put it clearly, and my sister too, as you go along your school and your trainings, pick what you want to do. If, for example, you pick that, like for my case, that you want to be in business, start associating yourself as early as now, when you are in campus or when you are in college, with people who are in business. Asking questions, going to seminars, and following them. She has really said a very good point. The value for men, that is destiny helpers. And I want to tell you, the people who are destiny helpers are not in UK. Some of them are here, others are seated with you. It is the way you carry them, the way you interact with them, what will help you. Back to my question. Business is one of the ways that I will encourage each one of you, because you have something we do not have now, time. You've seen I've been out of school for 23 years. If I was getting out of school now, what I would have done, I can do it 4 times. You have a very important aspect of time. I pray that you engage. One is, I don't want to repeat that point. This is one of the best things to do. But there are things that you will need for you to do it perfectly and to be of good help. Not just go to business, just to say that I'm in business. And I think Gigi will answer that question clearly. That is one of the best, but it's not the only way. You can be employed and still making great things even in business. Thank you.
I know you'll do a follow-up.
Yes.
But even as you do a follow-up on that, I mean, if I'm to do business, I just need some few business acumen, some knowledge, some skills, some networking here and there. Why should I waste 12 years in high school, primary, high school, and university, and after all, I'm just going to do business? What are these papers for? Why should I pursue education? Papers important anyway, because all of us are in Kenya, and we've seen the kind of leaders, some of them that have been elected. And I know we are live, but it is in the public domain. The other day we had an MCA from Uasin Gishu who could not even construct one sentence in Kiswahili, leave alone English, but he's an MCA. And he has a very vast business empire in Eldoret. So the question is, Pastor Gigi, and I'm asking you this intentionally because you're a PhD candidate. Very soon you're going to be a doctor of philosophy. So why are we pursuing all these papers?
Yeah, thank you very much, Collins, for that question. I think it's a very valid question. And of course, business has a way of producing miracles. But there are terms and conditions apply. Not everybody succeeds in business. But I think the one thing that we can say with certainty is passion pays. Okay? Passion. So Alex was very passionate about his, enterprise. He's an enterprising guy. Alex, if you remember, we did a seminar, I think many years ago, for Life Church people on, I think it was on 25 businesses you can do without money. That seminar was very famous. Maybe we'll repeat it.
I hope you can remember those 25 things because these people need them, right?
Yeah,
But
businesses you
we'll
can
have
start
that
with.
discussion.
Yeah. So we are passionate. Alex and I are passionate about helping entrepreneurs. And now the question of whether you need papers or not is actually valid. You need papers. Now, of course, the reason why that MCA is in the national press and the people are so impressed, in fact, they are more impressed by his lack of papers than his wealth. Because if he had papers and wealth, he wouldn't come to the press. You understand? So you have to choose but there's no guarantee somebody is going to put you in the papers, all right? So please don't get carried away by an outlier story. So I think you better just do what you need to do. Get your papers. And again, even for those of you who might want to follow the proven path, a job, employment, like my two panelists here, if you have a daytime job, I think I'll give you the advice. One of my mentors said, and always says that keep your daytime job, but mind your own business. I can
Ukisema
repeat
ukisikia
that.
point unafanya nini? Don't forget the drill. Don't forget the drill.
Yeah, keep your daytime job, but mind your own business. So first of all, you need to find a business that you can call your own, something that you're really passionate about. And you can still keep your daytime job while doing that business. It's called a side hustle. But then again, you also have to pay attention. So you don't want to sacrifice your career or the job. You don't want to jeopardize your employer in pursuit of that, that evening job or whatever it is, or whatever you do part-time. Either way, so there are those people who have to be in business full-time. There are those who have to be in the 8 to 5 job, who can also have their part-time job, and there are those who will go, who will do perhaps consultancy. They are self-employed. So you have to choose. But I will agree with Alex. Time is what you have as your advantage. The most important factor, the most important resource you have right now is time, and that you are hearing what you are hearing today here. Yeah, that's very important. Thank you.
Wow. Let us give a clap to these wonderful panelists. Melody, keep your daytime job, but mind your business. What is your take? Are you minding your business, or you're just keeping your daytime job?
Actually, minding my business and keeping my daytime job.
I knew it, so give us details.
Okay. Regarding that statement, so during the day, I do not do any cybersecurity consultancy. I do IT, I support applications. Then now after work is when now I now do cybersecurity consultants, meet up with clients via the online platforms. I certify, I am giving talks, I hold trainings, which I am grateful, just in case my boss is listening, I am grateful for the job and for the salary, but the after 5 really gives me satisfaction. There is a type of satisfaction that, I don't know whether you get it, that you, yes, the 8 after 5 is where now I get full satisfaction, I get money, I get joy, and I believe I honor God the most in my after 5. So yes, I concur with Pastor Gigi's statement.
I don't want to say that you feel sad between 8 to 5, but is that what you're saying? I hope not.
No.
Maybe Margaret, you can come in on this, and it's really important, even as you respond to that answer, for the young people to maybe come to terms with the fact that you can still do business and be employed, and this is not magic. What do you have to say about that? Maybe just give us some input on that.
For my case, let me say, so it has been a journey, because currently I have an ongoing master's program for healthcare management. So I started with a diploma, and having that diploma for 3 years in KMTC Nakuru was like a stepping stone for me to see how the world in the medical field is. And even after immediately I finished, I decided not to be employed. I opened my own clinic. Yeah, just here in Githurai 44. That's where my hoodie, I was born there. So my people are there. So I decided to go back to my people and serve them. 2 years, while I was still there, having satisfaction, that place really helped me to see how people struggle. Sometimes someone can be having a child who is sick and they don't have money, because my consultation was free. But a lot of things I was doing, mother, children, and a lot of people who are sick, they don't have money. So I had a way of, you bring the money. So out of compassion, one of the scriptures which strikes me every time is when Jesus used to see people who are sick, he was moved with compassion and he had to heal them. Sometimes I could forget, like, I'm in the business, but at the same time I want to help them. Some people who are faithful to come back and just give back, but some I forgave them because God had his own way of paying me back. So out of that, I enrolled for my degree in MKU. So out of that, my part-time, I still come to clinic, I go back to class. I finished my degree, I went for my internship in Kijabe Hospital. And when I was there, gave me a platform that, apart from just the entrepreneurship I really loved to do, because one side I'm the doctor, the other side I am an agency, the other side I'm the pharmacist. So juggling around. But still my entrepreneur skills were, like, it really gave me to see the big picture. When someone is told, you can't get to ICU if you have not given the down payment of this amount. And there is where you have to give out whatever you have to guarantee that I'll pay after this, because you are torn in between. Do I just save a life, or do I have to pay other bills because I need to pay all the employees that is. So Out of that, again, I appreciate that out of finishing my internship, I got an opportunity to lead particular people in outpatient. I was able to see staff having burnout, having students to teach, having people to talk about. And one of the turning moments for me is when I was one time in consultation, I could see a young person who comes in, they're in a relationship, and someone will say this and this, my friend has this kind of disease. And out of that, I will see like the way they're having good relationship, he even knows everything about them. I'll see another time, the other time is a couple, how they are coming in, how someone is expressing themselves. The other time I'll see an old man and a woman. Like God had a way of just showing me different generations, how they are reaching out for help, how I'll show, apart from giving them prescription, but I'll just give a word of knowledge that this and this, you have to put God first, because he's the one who heals us. We'll do this and this, you'll have used a lot of drugs, but the thing is, you need to look up to God. So out of that, again, it helped me to know, apart from just knowing this medicine, there's something else I need to. So from there, I learned where I specialized. Currently, I've finished my specialty in family medicine. I really had that opportunity to see the children, see the mother, to see a geriatric, so all that kind. So I have desired that God, out of all these things you have allowed me in the sphere of influence, that I'm able to treat a mother, a child, a husband, an elderly person. So out of all these different faces, I've also allowed, he has also allowed me to see, like apart from Kenya, where we're having troubles in terms of our healthcare system, what are the other people? How do they invest in their systems that we can be able to not only having resources in terms of human resource, but even material resource? Where is the gap? That if someone has the burden to see that we are flourishing in terms of the marketplace where medical, the hospitals, we're having the right gadgets, we're having the right drugs, and we have the right person who have been empowered, then things should be better, and should enjoy just being treated at home instead of flying out to another country because you're looking for that help.
Wow. Wow. So she's been in business, she's employed, she's been compassionate. It's not about the money, it's about changing lives. So you are looking for an opportunity, look for an opportunity to change the lives of people. And somehow, you'll be making money out of it. Meanwhile, get ready with your questions because we are about to come over to that side. Where is the mic? Good. Our chairman, Ebo chairman. Let's clap for this young man. Ebo chairman is with the mic. I just want you to stand up, probably where you are, so that you can see if anybody has any question. This is now the moment. I want us to shift to that other side to allow you to ask your questions to this panelist in no particular order. All questions are valid. If it is wrongly constructed, don't worry, we will reconstruct it to make sense. So you just ask it. We are here to listen to you today. So I don't want to take much time. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, you can enjoy your juice. There is more coming, just in case you finish before time. Let's put it up for these wonderful people, even as we get to this side to get those questions coming. So who is going first? Did I see a hand somewhere there? Yeah, there's a hand. Where is it? Yeah, there's a hand somewhere there.
Hi, everyone.
Sorry. Maybe probably start by saying your name. Maybe if you're a student or you are working, and then now you can ask the question.
Hi, everyone, and praise God.
Hi and amen.
My name is Ruth Simaloi. I currently work at Rongai Sub-County Hospital as a lab technologist. So my question goes to Pastor Gigi and Mr. Alex on matters savings, because saving is one of the ways to grow wealth as a young person. So I'm torn between fixed deposit, bank deposits, and SACCO saving. So kindly help me to balance so that I can be able to achieve both short goals and long-term goals. Thank you.
Okay, we can take that one. Any other? Let's clap for Simaloi. Simaloi has been very consistent. I think I knew her back in 2020, and she's been very consistent on matters of lab technology. In fact, back then she was still a student, but she's been very consistent. Yes, let's take the next question with Nikki. All right, maybe you can just stand up and, yeah.
My name is Nikki. My question is to Margaret about the, separating business and compassion and employment and all that. Because for someone like me, I'm very compassionate. Oh my goodness. I'd rather burn out, but I help you, So how do you separate it? And and also being a Christian in the workplace, you're supposed to show compassion, do this and that, but at the same time still be an employee and, follow the, like separating the two. So how do you do that?
All right, we can take another. Is there any other in this? Yes, this one there. Sorry.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
My name is Bernard Davis. My friends call me Clavis. My question is to Mwimi. Maybe how to handle business transitions, business failures occasioned by policy. Like now, when plastic bags were banned, there are people who are affected immediately. That was done because it means that your business has been shut down. There's a sales in the finance bill. There's a sales tax that has come in place, and there was a guy who was earning, I think, 20,000 from volume sales. But since there's a sales tax that has been taught that has gone up, his pay has come down from 20 to, I think, to 1,000, just because of tax. How to handle such things?
All right. Maybe one last one. Yes, over here.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Mark Elion. I hope haijaulizwa somehow awe kidogo. Now, how do you deal with an environment that is toxic? Of course, is a Christian at first, at hand, and not just toxic, but extremely toxic, and you just don't know how to balance what to do.
All right. So I think we can go with those 4 questions for this set. Meanwhile, continue preparing your questions. The mic is still coming around. Maybe Pastor Gigi and Alex, the first question by Ruth Simaloi. She wants to save, but she's like, should I do a SACCO or a fixed deposit account? She's also saying, I have short-term goals and I have long-term goals. So which one is appropriate in each of this context? Maybe, I don't know, Alex, if you want to go first.
Thank you, Otas. And I think before I answer that question, let me put a point about whether the papers are, because I'm going to forget the point, whether the papers are important or not. Because I know somebody will be asking, why then did I go all the way up to university? I think there's a saying which says, opportunity meets preparation. And I also want to tell you that most of the places that you want to be employed are somebody's business idea. You know, sometimes we walk to a bank and we think it is the building which owns itself. That is somebody's business idea. As you are going there to take a CV there, it is just somebody who sat down, maybe who did CPA, all those financial things, and they developed a system to keep the money for us. So why the papers are important? 2 things. As you go about studying, you will discover what you decide to do. Like my sister is passionate. Passionate things cannot be done within a consent of in a place like hospital. And out of that, you can develop a business on an hospital or do a business in that way. So it is very important to study, and as you study with a business mind. It is good to be employed. If you're employed, don't just relax. Nimefika mwisho. Because you can be employed to gain experience. So it is very important. The second point why the papers are important. Let me tell you, there are levels. You cannot even sit when you grow. For example, if you are called to a board to defend a tender you have applied, tenda hapo ukitetemeka. So, but if you have gone, you have studied, there's a confidence that comes with you. You fear no one. Even if you are meeting the deputy president, there is no fear. You can present yourself anywhere, even internationally. You can even be given a trip and go. You've never gone outside of Kenya, but you can take yourself and come back. Let me tell you, if you are just a Von liver, if you have not done something, so it is very important to study. That is one. So let me come to the question of savings.
Okay.
Savings is one of the most important things that I pray we don't just tell you and you don't start. Number one, don't wait to be employed. I will encourage students to have an account, and especially a fixed account. Start saving as early as now. Like now, I think Kenya has grown. We have too much money. Those people who studied in our times, 2001, in university, we even did not have phones. You people have the best accounts, M-Shwari fixed and local accounts. Everybody can save. So we first agree that saving is a thing that somebody needs to do.
Wow.
And when you study in the Bible, there's a verse, I have it here, when you go to the ants, it says, look at what they do. They gather. And when you read that, it says, when you save, number one, you are wise. Once you have accumulated the money, as you continue accumulating the money, there is something which happens when money is growing in your account. Ideas will come. And as I have said, opportunity meets preparation. You are prepared financially, you will do something. So I will encourage my sister to save. Now, to the other things, where do I save? You will depend what you want to achieve. You, for example, want a short-term thing, I will encourage you to save somewhere that you can withdraw your money. If you want, for example, to open an hospital because you are in an hospital setup, if you invest in land, land is good, but it takes time. And when you start selling it, it may even take more time. So you may either think of the circle, but even as you think the circle, think, because everything has operations. Who will sign for you to get that loan? Let nobody tell you save in a loan, we put 1 million, we give you 7 million. You need guarantors or collateral. You need to think about that. So there are several places, and I know Gigi is coming to that. He will show us where we can save, because it's a very, very important thing. Saving, everybody here should be talking, how much have I saved? Not how I have never saved. If you, I will never forget, Gigi, when he came from UK, he talked about that point. And he asked, how long have you stayed in Nairobi? Some of us stayed over 10 years with no savings. If I pose the same question to you, some of you maybe have worked for 5 years, and even 5,000 for an emergency, you have to borrow a pesa or call your hand. That is a disaster. I cannot continue more.
Wow. Yeah, thank you very much, Alex, for emphasizing that point. Very, very important to save, and you know, that's how wealth grows. You know, wealth is cumulative. Okay, wealth tends to accumulate. By the way, now you might be looking at yourself, looking down on yourself. You know, you're worth close to maybe a couple of, maybe even less than 100,000. I mean, if all your money was put together, but that's not a problem. Wealth grows; it accumulates. So you trigger that by saving. So very, very important. But maybe because there are many other questions we need to handle, I think banks are good, fixed accounts are good, circles are good. Now, if you're looking for a circle, like Alex has alluded, you need a circle works where you are in a circle with your friends. With your friends. So we have here at Apostolic House, we have Apostolic Circle. It's a growing circle, and it's gained a lot of momentum. So if you're interested, you can join that circle, and you will find some of the young people here and some of the friends here. You can build a very good community. If you're in a workplace where there is already a circle, that's a good place. So join a circle. A circle is very handy. You can borrow money. They can also give you an emergency, and the interests are not expensive. Now, banks are like the place you go as a last resort. You know, if you can't get money elsewhere, you go to the bank. So banks are good, and so you need them. But I think the beginning point is the discipline of saving. So I think that cannot be overemphasized. And I think that's all I have to say about that.
All right, I want us just to move directly, before I come to the issue of balancing, I want us to deal with this issue of a toxic environment at the workplace. And if I got him correctly, the boss is a Christian, but the environment is still toxic. Maybe Melody, I don't know, have you ever experienced such a thing, or do you have any idea on how to deal with such an environment?
Okay, so about a toxic environment, first, there is one concept that a colleague shared, that everybody is a garbage truck.
You can repeat that again.
Yes, everybody is a garbage truck. What do I mean? We are all carrying something that is not pleasing to your neighbor. For instance, I'm married, yeah? I might have had a disagreement with my husband in the morning, and I am your boss. I come to the office, I gave you some work, maybe you've not done it to perfection. I am going to pour that frustration to you. So you have to sit down. Pastor Gigi has mentioned he has a mentor. In life, you need a mentor. You do not necessarily have to have one person who is your everything, your spiritual mentor. For ladies, you want someone to walk with you in the career field. You can have different mentors. I've mentioned, the reason as to why I have talked about mentors is your mentor is in a very, very good place to tell you the things that you do that are a hindrance to your growth. For instance, your mentor can tell you you are not, you do not do your work to perfection, which is why is maybe causing conflict between you and your boss. So even the fact that you have someone to tell you the truth will also help you evade some of the conflicts you may have with your boss. And another thing also, as a Christian, our fights are never carnal. That is so true. There are very many instances I felt belittled. I remember there's a statement one of my bosses told me one time. I had gone to her regarding something, and she told me, Melody, right now, your voice has been taken away from you. And it really crushed me, because how do you tell me my voice has been taken away from me and I'm coming to you for a problem? But the moment I went on my knees and I told God, you are a just God. You put both of us on a weighing scale and be able to judge. For the things that I'm able to do that will change the situation, I pray that you do. And if the place is unbearable, the same God who gave you that job, ask him to open doors for other places. But while you're there, I'm sure even the children of Israelites in the wilderness, if you would have asked them, there's even a time they were saying, why did you bring us here? You could have just left us there. So even in that place, you do not know what God is trying to mold you into, or what is that capacity that God is trying to expand you in. So even if that place is toxic, you just ask God, why am I here? What do you have for me here? And is there a way out? Is what can I do? Yes, I think those are my 2 cents. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, let's clap for her. Let's clap for her. Well, Margaret, maybe on the same trajectory in terms of toxicity, and I'm deliberately skipping Alex and Gigi on this because they are like our seniors here. And you see, this question of toxicity mainly affects the young people at the workplace. I have been around the workplace for I joined the marketplace in 2014. So I've been around for around, I think 9 years or something. And initially, I also had that question. But with time, I have realized sometimes it's not the environment. Sometimes it's not the environment. But I want you to come in as a young person, and from a young person's perspective, and the fact that you are a boss at some point where you work. How do we deal with this matter of toxicity? When those employees who report to you at Kijabe, have you ever maybe come across somebody say, Leo, kimeumana kwani, eh? Maybe tell us something.
Hey, thank you for the question. I think in different perspective, maybe toxicity can be, I don't want to say graded differently, but from where I sit, I think I've ever been in such kind of place where I am so, even waking up to go to that place to work that day, I don't have the energy. But there are 2 things involved. One, I think the spirit behind whatever toxicity can be. That's why going on your knees is important. And some battles are just not, God being our buckler and our fortress, just some things you need just to be specifically, God, I'm not comfortable about this. And this is like a thorn in my flesh. I know your grace is sufficient, but we need to fix this thing out. So, one, prayer, and then the second, even as I know where we are, someone told me, wherever we are assigned, or wherever we have been employed, this is not a permanent place. And I came to realize that if you just hold down now, tomorrow they will advertise for the other person, for another person. So it's not a permanent place. We need to have strategies that if tomorrow this thing is over, what will I do next? So as you're looking for other better places, you don't want to live there, like just the way it is, but let them see that it is their loss to lose you. Make an impact that they will really, if you go somewhere and they don't miss you, then you are not important in that place. So you need to make that your presence there.
We need to clap for that point. Wow.
You need to have an impact that you are away one day. You say, hey, it was a mess. We wanted you to be, we wondered where you have gone, like, yeah. So what I'm saying is, apart from praying that God gives us the grace even to pursue whatever the calling or assignment you have been given, the other thing you need to know that we are just passing. Because we are raising a generation that we don't want to be employed every time. We want to be our own employers. We need to build places that people can also be employed. So having that perspective that I don't have to die because already Jesus died for us, just being in one place.
Please don't die.
Look for another place. So pray about it. Look for other opportunities. Network. That I'm not only having one, because after 5, a lot of things happen. People graduate. People are learning. So don't be just fixated. This is the only place I can work. Look for other greener pastures, and the Lord is going to lead you to where to go.
Wow. And while I'm still staying with you, Margaret, there's this bit of balancing compassion and employment and business. And so Nikki is confused. She's like, I'm very compassionate. I also want to get money, I also want to do business. So how do I balance? Because compassion in most cases, quote unquote, does not pay. And I said quote unquote intentionally. Does not pay because I know some pay. And there's also this bit of, Nico employment. So how do I balance? Where is the balance?
Wow, that's a good one. So it has been a big deal to me, especially to balance things. But the grace of God has been sufficient, because when I've been into different places, I see how they are doing things. So I realize, if this, they needed to pay for this antibiotic for 500 shillings. and they didn't have 200. They had short of 300. So what are the other measures do I need to do that this patient is going to be able to have that full package? So I find ways. Sometimes in the hospital you will send to our, we have this patient we need to help. So we gather small coins and we pay for that. But I was looking at a situation that, what about that day no one had money to chip in to help this patient? So if you can give a half dose and then you continue with the next one, because I know you're going to get money at the end of the day. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is, yes, those stringent situations that compassion sometimes it wears out, that it is a must for you to go to ICU, you need to have a down payment. So sometimes I tell anyone in your phone, just tell the community to do something, because we need to save your life. Miraculously, God does wonders. I don't know how he does, but he does wonders. We pray and we believe that God, we are going to use people, because I've said the Gentiles, we are going to have the treasures of the Gentiles to help us. So in one way or the other, I have known to know where my boundary is. If I don't have, I don't have. If I have, I can help. Sometimes I'll go out of my way just to look for people to help this patient and help come on my way. But sometimes when at that time, nothing can happen. Those are the strangest moments where everyone in there, we normally say you shout for help. So you shout for help anywhere, help will come. And God does in his own ways of bringing help on your way. So what I can say is balancing is know your boundaries, know what you can do and when you can't do anything. And when you don't know how to do it, don't crash. Like, don't cry because I didn't do it. Just let it go. Like, I was not in a position to help. Next time, you're going to help. Yeah.
Wow. Know your boundaries. Very important. And also know how far you can go. Don't overstretch. Unaweza kuwa wewe si blada ukatike bure. I want to move to transitions, failures due to policy changes, and the plastic bags, they just went, and Alex said that he was the master in plastic bags, and now there are no plastic bags. Now this transition has come. Right now, Pastor Gigi, we have the finance bill that has just been enacted now, and you see people's salaries are being deducted, businesses are being affected. So maybe, I don't know whether Alex you want to start or Pastor Gigi, but how does a business person manage these transitions? Because they're really like negatively impacting. But you see, the other issue is if you focus on the negative bit, you may not be able to advance. And if you continue mark timing, there are people who are actually seeing this enactment as an opportunity. And so there are other businesses that are going to thrive despite the finance bill. So how do we transition so that these policy changes, these transitions do not affect us negatively in the marketplace, especially those who are doing business? Yes, I don't know, yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Otas. And I think that's a very good question. On top of transition, I also want to tell you that you can start a business, and when you see it failing, close it and start another one. There are some Christians.
Very important. Hold on. Let us digest that one.
Yes.
It is possible you start today, you close it, open another one. The issue is not close and go home. Open?
Start another one.
Exactly.
That is because there is something, especially if you have started business, and you want people to see that you are still going on, and you are struggling. You can't tell us, but you are actually not meeting your bills. You are actually borrowing. You are surviving. Please don't die. You can close that business and you can refresh. Si unakuanga kwa simu, click and refresh. Yeah, Apostle.
Yes.
You can close it. And I think, let me tell you, need to be told boldly that you can close a business unashamedly and either start another one. So that is good. So coming to transition. One, we have an advantage. We are Christians. And that is where we are in this setup. We are not in the worldly system, because outside things are done in another way. Having said that we are Christians, when you read in 3 John chapter 1 verse 2, the Bible says that, beloved, I pray that you may prosper, even as you are so prosperous. Let me make a statement. Please read that verse again. If you are a Christian and you are either employed and you are doing business and you are eager to grow because you are going to grow. You cannot ignore spirituality. And I want to say that anything that you are showing us that you are growing, but your Christianity is going down, that is corruption. That is corruption.
Piga makofi vizuri.
You must support your financial growth with your spiritual growth if it has to stand. And these people will tell you, respect to the age. You try, you know, you people, you are young. You know, you are seeing people here, is an MCA, is what he has accumulated some money. You even don't know ametumia njia gani, and you want to use, and you know it is wrong. You are going to fall terribly. Anything that is going to stand must be supported with your spiritual growth. So if you ignore your spirituality, you say that I can corrupt here so that I will appear a millionaire, we will see you going down. So this is one system that you cannot change. So that is, so also in transition, I thank God because we have the Spirit of God. And I will use my example. 1 year to the plastic ban. You know, plastic ilikuwa imefungwa, inafunguliwa, inafungwa, inakosa kufungwa. So we even didn't believe that it is going to be closed. And that's why when it was finally closed, people closed shop and waited for a month to know what to do. For me, a year before, I really knew this thing is going to be closed. And I actually organized, I stopped restocking so much. And good enough, by God's way, I got a brother in this church, and I was selling tapes. They come from China, but I was buying them in Kamukunji. So one time I go to this brother, and where I buy, they are not there. Akaenda akaniambia, let me show you where to buy them. After that, these tapes are in China. I'm going to China next week. Give me 20,000, I go and bring a few. Pesa nilikuwa nayo. But you see, I did not believe. Hapa na hapa sikumpea. 1 month, he comes outside the church. Nimeleta tape. Unanuanga pesa ngapi? 170. Nitakuuzia 160 na nililunua 90.
And it's very bold. And it's very bold.
Very point. Let me tell you, I walked away. I went out crying. But before I walked, I asked him, when again are you going? It was in April. He told me September. Limuambia tutaenda na wewe. I had no passport. Leave alone passport. I had no birth certificate. And all my children had birth certificate. But to make the point clear, that same time, we pushed to October, na tulienda na ye. So makatazi kianguka mimi, I was unimportant. That's why I did not get into a quagmire. So you saying there must be the help of the Holy Spirit. Even in this finance bill, take advantage of people crying. As unga rises up, as mafuta ikipanda, weka petrol station. As in, see the good thing out of it.
Weka petrol station. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yes.
Wow. And I know, Pastor Gigi, you are very eager to come in. But I just want to appreciate Catherine Mureithi, Anthony Mwinywa, Benjamin Wandeto. We've seen your comments on Facebook. Thank you, and we'll respond to some of those questions in a few. Maybe just to come in on what Alex was saying, and I know he's talked more on the transition, but I want you to look at the policy aspect. And I want us to be very specific now on the finance bill, as it were, the 2023-2024 finance bill that the Court of Appeal just lifted the other day. And you see, Safaricom just responded yesterday, and they have increased those things. And so business people are already crying. But I don't want us to cry. I don't think we should be crying. I tend to believe that there's an opportunity in this. I don't know whether you're with me or I'm alone.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think by nature, I take a positive attitude. There's always, there are always opportunities. You must learn to turn the lemon into lemonade. So the finance bill, of course the government has to do what it has to do and all that. But I tell you, there are people like Alex is saying, have been waiting in the wings because they know what that bill portends in terms of business opportunity. All right? So, one, It's important for that matter to be closed because as long as the bill is not sorted out, it creates unpredictability in the market. So the problem is not high prices. The problem is never high prices. In fact, as long as there is petrol in the petrol station, we are fine. You go and fuel your car if you must. But if you wanted to fuel right now, because there's a very hot deal in Machakos, and there is no fuel, no amount of finance bill will help you. Do you understand? So you remember when there was a problem, the subsidy, and the oil importers decided they were going to hold back the actual product. It was a crisis. And people were buying the same fuel double. You know, because now you're queuing with your mitungis and there is only one pump, and the guy is saying 20 liters, but you have to pay cash and you have to pay at 200 shillings per liter. People bought fuel. You understand?
Yeah.
So it depends on which side, what problem you are solving. If you buy fuel for a luxury ride, surely pay, even if it's 300. That's your problem. Anyway, so in other words, don't die there, all right? Look at the opportunity, and I like what Alex is describing. I actually, because Alex is my friend, I kept on following up on what was happening in the industry, the plastic industry. Alex and some of his key guys, they were on hand to milk that opportunity. As soon as the plastic bags were banned, all of a sudden, a new crop of entrepreneurs got into the mix and started selling the paper, you know, the Uhuru paper. Everybody now was in the business. And you know what happened? Something else, another level. The new entrepreneurs who thought they were going to make a kill out of the Uhuru papers went and joined the industry very quickly. Do you know what happened? 6 months later, they were no longer there. They sold, made their kill, and ran off. They left Akina Alex there. So today, the people used to sell plastic are now selling Uhuru paper. The same people. Nobody closed. You understand? It was just a crisis, like a crisis. And then, so what happens? If you are an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter how big the crisis is. The pretenders drop off. The real entrepreneurs somehow find a way of emerging on the other side. So it's really your capacity to maneuver, to organize yourself. So having said that, I think we all need to be prepared to manage that, but you learn. Entrepreneurship is learning. I also want to echo Alex one other statement about closing a business. Let me tell you, you must be ready to close that useless, stupid business, which is giving you stress and a sleepless night, okay? And without shame, and announce it on Facebook if need be. You understand what I mean?
We have officially closed.
Yeah, we have officially closed, all right? So, and then open a new one. So, one day, some people asked, how many businesses do you need to go into and out of before you land on the business that makes you a millionaire? Do you know how many businesses you need to start and fail? 17. So you've only done 2 businesses, you have not failed enough, so you don't qualify.
Some have not even started.
Yeah.
Some are just about to start and they fear.
Yeah, no problem. Start, fail, learn, start, fail, learn, start, fail, learn, until you now get the gist of it. You will succeed eventually. You will succeed. Yeah. But don't be afraid to fail.
Wow. Let's appreciate that. Let's appreciate that. Now, I want to check the next round of questions. I believe we've tackled all the first questions. I want to take the next round of questions. So, who is going next? Yes, there is, can see Anne Natkunda there.
Yep. My name is Anne. Yeah, and my question, probably I think it goes to Margaret. Let's say probably it's related to everyone, but basically to Margaret, because you're dealing in the medical field, you're dealing with people's lives. So my question is, let's say you have engaged your clients, you have mobilized money for this client, for the far you have reached, the clients you have attended, some have lost lives. At that point that the client you really, really put your heart into lost a life, Or maybe if you're just in business apart from the medical field, and the business you ventured in, unlike the case of Alex, this business failed. Like you've gone through a loss. You don't have money again to start another one. You don't have the strength. How? My main question is, how do you pick up yourself from that situation and move on to maybe another business or that business, or how do you carry yourself up and move on?
All right. Kimeumana. Na hiyo ndilikuwa A to Z yako. So how do you move on? We will answer that question in a few. Yes, there's a hand here. Where's the mic? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Wavo.
Yeah.
And, I'll not direct my question to anyone, but I would like to ask. Our sister Melody has said that in our career paths, we need mentors and we need people to tell us what to do and what not to do. But for my case, when someone asks me what I want to pursue, and I give them the answer, they usually say, "Yo sijaisikia mahali." And I've tried looking. I don't think I've encountered anyone who wants to pursue, who has pursued what I want to pursue. So my question is, in my situation, what do I do? How do I find mentors or someone who has done what I want to do and what I want to pursue?
Allow me to deflect. You know, in a conversation you can always deflect. So allow me to deflect. If it's comfortable with you, what is it that you want to pursue? Probably someone seated here is pursuing that thing.
I want to pursue wildlife management.
Wildlife management. I know people who are in that field. But anyway, yes, I've got your question. Yes, it's another hand here.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I'm currently a final year student at Technical University. So I wanted to know how, I'm just posing a question, all of you, how to start a business and to manage an honest business, because that's where I'm headed after school.
I didn't hear the last bit. I don't know. You just give her the mic. There's the last statement you made.
How to start a business and to manage it.
How to start a business and manage it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, there's someone. There's a hand there. There's a hand at the back. There's another one here.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Abby. I have a question. How do you balance between ministry and workplace, or ministry and business? Thank you.
Praise God. My name is Evans Jadu. I'm born again, and I have a question to the panelists. It's very general. We are talking about being a rich young ruler, right? So there is the aspect of richness, and there is the aspect of ruling. So it means like making most of the rulings, or becoming that person who is making most of the decisions. There is some aspect of richness. So I want to ask, what is the quantity, or what is the measure of that success, or the measure of richness for you to come to a place that you can actually rule the others? Yeah, that's what. And because actually I read somewhere, and this the author of the book was talking about something about grieving the spirit. So he was talking about one of the things that you can grieve the spirit is being primitive, and you are leading prayers, and you are primitive, and you are leading people who are very intellectual. So you will make them. You will not pray. You will not encourage them to pray because of that thing. So I hope many get. Yeah.
Tumejaribu kukuget mzae. Tumejaribu. Well, let me just get a clarification. You say if you are praying for intellectuals and you are not an intellectual, you'll be grieving the spirit. That's what you said? Okay. The panel is here to respond to all these questions. We said no question is stupid, right? Yes, all questions are right.
Okay, I'm Dennis. My question goes directly to Pastor Gigi. Considering the fact that you have a background in the engineering field, how did you transition from engineering to business, to teaching, to being a lecturer? And I don't know if you are still lecturing in engineering and now majoring into the business part of it. How was it?
Okay, there was another hand here. I think we can take these two and then now we can, let me see. I think we can take that one, then now we respond, then we'll come to the next round. Yes.
Praise God. My name is Kevin, and my question is, how do you deal with impulse when it comes to money?
How do you deal with?
Impulse.
Impulse, okay.
Like impulse buying.
All right. I was just trying to put that question down, impulse. Okay. So I think we can take those ones. I hope you will not forget your question. You will also not forget yours. All right. I think we can deal with these ones, then we move on. Thank you so much, Onesimus. I've seen your comment. Thank you, Catherine. Business is not working. Close, move on, and don't feel guilty about it. Real entrepreneurs will remain in the market. Support your business with your spirituality. Very powerful. Thank you so much, our online viewers. We are with you. Now, some very interesting questions. You are leading intellectuals. Now, when in class 2 dropout, Sasa, you are grieving the spirit. I don't know. Alex, do you want to go first on this one or what? You're throwing to Gigi. Gigi, a young man here is asking. In fact, he started with the question, at what level do you now say I have become successful and I can now rule over my peers? As I don't know if it's my peers or my community, but at what point do I now become very wealthy to the point of ruling? And the icing on the cake to that question was, because we were talking about the intellectual bit and the papers bit, so the icing in the cake is, yani wewe umefika form 4, but we are now dealing with doctors. Probably you've been called to a board of directors meeting, and you're just a form 2 dropout. If you lead prayers there, will you be grieving the spirit?
I think I can understand Evans, my friend, in his question. Okay, I think there are many dimensions to it, but I think, you know, when you do something and succeed, if you pick up something in life and do it very, very well, you will earn the respect even of people who have big degrees. All right. Jenga Karume was a Chaco dealer. You know, Jenga Karume is you know, the late Jenga. He started off in Kiambu as a Chaco dealer, and then he was the first African man to own a shop in Kiambu town. Yani, those days, if you went to any town in Kenya, the shopkeeper was a Muindi. All right. So Jenga Karume was the first African to be standing behind a shop. You understand? So he changed a lot of paradigms. By the time of his passing, he owned many, even now, his family still owns hotels, big businesses. He became a multimillionaire. But there is one thing that is so unique about Jenga. Those who managed to be a bit closer than myself to him, they say that Jenga was such a warm person. If Jenga greeted you, you knew you were greeted. He will greet you and he will be warm to you. He will speak to you in Kikuyu. He was such a sweet, good person. So he used his gift of generosity, and a pleasant person and a very warm person. I also know another guy who is also a millionaire. Again, he also built a business from scratch from Kitale. He came to Nairobi. He's a vehicle distributor manufacturer. The guys of, they are called KF, Kenya They're called what? They're called what? The guys who do CFG, Central Farmers Garage. They do matatus. They build the bodies. The owner, and I can mention his name, he's called Jenga, Mzee Jenga. We used to call him Mzee Jenga. Mzee Jenga, again, another ordinary guy. He was a farmer. He started repairing tractors. He was a mechanic. And he rose to become a multi-millionaire. So you don't have to start with papers, okay? I think you just need to be a good person. And I'm telling you, if you serve people, you solve their problems, you do it well, you do it successfully and persistently, you know, you will succeed. So education is not the limit, okay? But you got to be a good person. So you can have very nice papers and dress very well, but you are such a difficult character, and you don't add value to anyone.
True.
So really, that's not good to help. You understand? So if you solve people's problems, even if you have 0 degrees, they will come to you. If you sell chicken and you're the only one selling chicken, people will queue outside your shop.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I think we can settle on that, right?
That is settled. And I believe any other person was having that thought. That is very settled. Pastor Gigi, someone is saying that this is very powerful. Several years ago, I went to a marketplace breakfast meeting, which I paid for. I listened to Pastor Gigi. I closed a business I was operating. Pastor Gigi is full of wisdom in business. Let's give it up for Pastor Gigi. And thank you, Nesh, for that comment. Naomi Sambu, thank you so much for your comment as well. And so you can see there are people who are following this conversation, and you have the liberty and the freedom to be here one-on-one. So let's take this thing seriously. There's the other bit of the question that he asked. And I know you've not yet tackled it. This other bit was, of course, we talked about if you don't have papers, you can still do whatever you want to do. But it is at what level do I say, sasa nimefika niko na kakitu naweza tawala? Because yeah. the topic is rich young ruler, and he's wondering when is he going to rule? He's really eager to rule, but at what stage?
Yeah. Now, I think they say that the proverb says that the wisdom of the poor is despised. So I think if you build wealth and you do it genuinely, you earn yourself respect and you will rule. Now, again, maybe the issue of success. At what point do you rate yourself successful? I think success, you have to define success for yourself. You really have to define success for yourself. Success for you could be, for some of you could be like her, just serving the sick, you know, helping people, you know, and she's in that space, you know, she sees people come, some of them die off, maybe even through, you know, some she can't help. But I think for her success, and I would say, let's measure success our own way. Success is really when you help out someone, when you solve people's problems, and you do it with all your heart, and it's something you're enjoying doing. That is success. If you sing and lift people's moods and hearts, that's success. If you write a novel and everybody wants to read it, that is success. You understand? Now, what happens is you do something well, and you serve people very well. Often it comes together with a reward of money, okay? People will bless you. And we said the other day, the reward. There is the principle of the reward. There is the principle of harvest. When you sow, you harvest. There is a principle of inheritance. You know, there is always an inheritance for you. And there is the principle of a reward. So God will reward you. If you serve God's people, you will be rewarded. And let me tell you, you may be the shortest, the smallest, the quietest. But if you are the most bold and you are the most determined, you will come on top. You will be the leader. So, my brother Evans, I tell you, you're going to lead the people of God. You just stay in there. And sometimes you only need to say, by the way, Anita Waongoza, by the way, who has any questions? You know, and people will listen to you. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Let's give it up for Pastor Gigi one more time. I mean, he makes these things look so simple. Ama ni mimi tu. Is it? Does he? Yeah. Communicate with me. Oh, good. Now, there are two questions that I want to merge. There's this question of how do I start a business and manage it? And then the question of what if business fails? How do I pick up again? Because I know when you start a business, it can fail. but just in case it fails, how do I pick up? And you can also be in employment and maybe the patient passes on, or you can be dealing with that software app and then it all crashes. How do you start building from scratch? So I think maybe Melody, we can start with you. Are there days that you've really worked on this app? You know, you've invested, say, even 2 weeks, because I have a friend of mine who says they can develop an app even for 1 month, and then all of a sudden it just crashes. So at that point, how do you start again?
So one thing that I've always come to appreciate, there is wisdom in failure. If
Wow.
you start something and you fail, if you are to start a similar thing or something close to it, you'll be at level 10 compared to when you initially started when you were at level 0. For instance, when I code and that mobile application crashes, when I'm developing a new one, I will know the errors that the previous application had, and I will not do the same mistake. So let's be easy on ourselves, let's be gracious to ourselves. Even when you fail or at the point of failure, try and pick up the lessons that you learned through the journey rather than beating up yourself, calling yourself a failure, a loser, of what use am I? Yes, so I think that's how I'd appreciate when businesses fail. And then to also add on what Pastor Gigi has said, I remember during COVID time, I began selling cupcakes. And there was a girl who had taught me how to bake the cupcakes. I'd bake and sell. And I remember there was one time she tricked me and I felt deceived. So when I was telling my dad, he told me, Melody, you cannot feed the whole market. You do not have resources and you will never have resources to fill the whole market. So to Evanson, get that, there's what you're gifted in. You're gifted, let's say in, I see you playing drums very well. You can lead people who are in this field. You do not have to lead everyone. Just ask God, which sphere is this that you want me to dominate? Which sphere do you want, which sphere is this that you want me to glorify you more? Because you are so good at drums, yeah? If you see another person playing drums, are you going to feel intimidated? If you are to lead people praying who are playing drums, are you going to feel like hawatapa? No. So yes, so just identify your sphere, be content with it. The grass is never greener on the other side. The grass is always green where you water it. So water your sphere.
Rudia yo ya grass. Rudia yo. Repeat that statement. Somebody needs to hear it again. You see, here, then here. Now let us get the here. The grass is?
The grass is never greener on the other side.
Exactly.
The grass is greener where you water it.
So just water it.
Yes.
Just water your grass. Margaret, the patient has died. Collection to Lifania, we really shouted for help, but the patient has died. Does it crush you, or you still soldier on with the mission of compassion?
Yeah, actually this one reminds me real time where I was rotating in ICU some time ago when I was doing my internship. And every time when I will go to a particular bed, I've clocked the patient, the next day I'll come, I'll find they are not there. So it happened repeatedly. And I was so crushed that what didn't I do that this patient had to die? And one time I asked the nurses, like, how do you feel like every time you are assigned to bed number 1 and you find the patient is not there? And I realized we need some moment where we need to debrief sometime, because the same place we are there 8 to 5 or the whole night or the whole day, and the times you had really sold yourself to that patient. So one thing I learned from that is the moment I have an opportunity to talk to that patient, to hear them, I pray for them. I do what I can today because I don't know if I'll see them tomorrow. So I do everything, my diligence, that even if he has to rest tonight, at least I was counted, I helped them in a particular. Sometimes patients have made it, sometimes they have not made it. And I remember one time in outpatient when I was seeing a patient, he had myasthenia gravis and a particular disease. When I was in school, I used to be asking the teacher every time that question until he asked me, why do you have every time this question? Do you have someone you know? And I say, I just had a friend who had this disease and I was so curious to know what I can do extra to help them. So one time when my real time, I had that patient who had the same disease. I told them, I know this disease and you can make it. I encouraged them. I told the family, you need to look for this money and you have to buy this drug. They did. But the last day when they came to see me, they had some complication. Actually, they just dropped when we were talking to each other. It really crushed me. I told them, involve me in the burial, involve me in all these things. It was too hard until I had to ask someone, how do you do about this? Because every time when even students come to me and ask me, I had this patient, I had worked with them, and now they are not there. But one thing I learned from that experience is, at times God allows you to meet that patient at a particular time to encourage them, to give them hope. And even when they are not there, you don't get stuck there. You still need to move on because you are just assigned for that particular moment. And when it didn't happen, don't blame yourself, why didn't I do particular? But I was counted that I led them to Christ. I was counted that I encouraged the family. I was counted that tomorrow is going to be a better day, that some more technology will come on board. And people who are restricted, have limited resources, maybe someone else will come and do something better. So I've learned to tell myself, it is beyond me. The Lord loved them better than the way I could have done, and let it go.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I throw in something else?
Yes, yes.
And I think that's speaking to what I was saying, defining your success. Because you see, if you're working in an ICU scenario, ICU is really the you know, the critical ward. I mean, if you're in ICU, really you are on the edge. But you see now for her, she had to define success as, I am with this patient, they are responding, I am speaking to them, I'm tending to them now. I am doing my best now, not tomorrow, you see? So you have to define, did I do my best to that patient? Then when you go out of your shift, you come the following day, the bed is empty. You understand? You know what happens when the bed is empty. I happen to have worked in a hospital, actually ICU. I did a shift in ICU a few times, and I know that feeling. That feeling is not funny. So anyway, and by the way, maybe that also helps answer the other guy, that young man there, Dennis. He's wondering what's wrong with Gigi, engineer, you know, he's everywhere.
Yeah, but just carry on with that. Yeah.
I think for me, I had to change my mind about life, okay? I don't departmentalize life, okay? I decided that I have the capacity to know as much as a human brain can know. And I came to realize, in fact, you see, and I remember listening to a motivational speaker. I have also listened to those motivational guys. One of them said that, you know, the average human being uses less than 10% of their brain capacity. So what are you sparing the other 90% for? So if you want to do another 2 degrees, just go for them. You understand? You have the brain. Somebody told you that you don't have the capacity. They lied to you. Yeah, so I stopped lying to myself, so I read everything. Anything I can read, anything I can master, I will master, including programming and coding. I have built websites, by the way. I've built websites, so that's how serious I am. So I learn everything I can, and I remain sharp, and because I educate myself, I don't have limits, okay? So if it's medicine, mukicheza, hata hiyo tutaingia.
Wow. So, Dennis, I hope me and you are not average. Let's use the other 90%. And that goes to everyone. Even right now, you can still go and start that other degree. And you'll make it, by the way. Mtu asikwambie ni mzee, wazee wako ushago. Anyway, I think now that you've answered that question, I want to talk into maybe what Watho was saying, and I deliberately want to start with you, Pastor Gigi, because I know you deal with the issue of mentorship. How do you identify a mentor? Because he's saying that the course he wants to pursue, it's like it's a rare course. Of course, it's not that the course does not exist, but it's a rare course. He's into wildlife management. Wanyama na yeye hapa kwa hapa. But hakuna mtu anataka kummentor in this line. From my small understanding, and this is very subjective, your mentor must not always be the person who have done the course you want to pursue. But I want to be guided by a professional in that field. So maybe you can speak into that.
Yeah, you'll be very surprised, Wado, that wildlife management as a discipline. When I joined Moi University in the 90s, late 80s and early 90s, I found they had a degree in forestry, Bachelor of Science in Forestry, and forestry and wildlife management. So actually, you are 30 years late into that field. You understand? So it's there. Wildlife management is a big field. Animal husbandry, it's a big field. There are very many professionals, and it's a very recruiting field. If you're passionate, absolutely amazing. All right, here in Kenya, you don't need to go abroad. So pursue your dream. You will find mentors. Just look up for them. You can start with the Kenya Wildlife Service. You can volunteer. You could offer yourself to volunteer. You can use another route. Join a tour company. Just be a town boy. When tourists are going to the forest and go and greet the elephants. You understand? Do anything you can to inspire yourself in that field. Okay? Yeah. So,
wow.
And you will find mentors.
Wow.
Look out for them. You will find them. Even the guys who do the TV, for example, you can also contact them and get into their website, subscribe, get magazine, and then you find the right guys. So there is a lot. You have to look for mentors yourself. You understand? They are there. If it is being done by somebody in the US, it can be done, and you will find a Kenyan, maybe even here, or even that American who will come to Kenya. Whatever it is. You understand? So, yeah, so your dreams are valid. God bless you.
Your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Yeah, you can be a town boy with a tour company. You greet the elephants. Wow, somebody saying a lot of wisdom, Melody. Keep going. Pastor Gigi, I like it when you say you are limitless. That is Joshua Mkoji. Thank you so much, Joshua. Wow, Alex. Ministry, business, workplace, family. Somebody's asking, hawajui vile kitu na balance. Because on Sunday wanakuona kwa church, wewe na madam mume ngara mna dance. Weekday anakuona uko tao, you are very busy in Kamkunji. The other time wanakuona you are with the children to school. How do you balance? I mean, I don't want to use the word crazy, but I've already said it. It's crazy. So how do you balance?
Okay, I think that's a good question. And it's all about, number one, what are you focused to do? And what are your values in life? Because as you have said, you are in a church setup. Ministry and Christianity is not something we are going to let down. So it has its place. And it has the time that I have to commit myself to. I have to be in the services, because for me to grow, I have to put an input. And remember the verse that we have read, I pray for you that you may prosper, even as you are so prosperous. So my soul will not prosper if I am inactive. I have to remain active. For the family, likewise. I know you are youth. Most of you are not married. Maybe 99%. You are going to get married. You are wondering how. It's not that after you get married, you become a next door human being. You're still going to be the person who goes to job and comes. In fact, the Bible says you get a helper, and two are better than one.
Preach it, preach it.
So the burden is lighter, the responsibilities are lighter. I usually tell people that you used to cook one sufuria and the other person cooks one sufuria. You will not be cooking one. You will not be washing your clothes, especially for the men. So you'll actually have added time. You can actually take care of that family. The problem only comes if people want to put other things within the program of somebody. For example, if you use church, family, and what was the other thing?
Business.
And business. You see, if I'm in business, I have the 8 to 5 for my business. And I would comfortably dedicate myself to that. And please, if you are coming to business, you must be disciplined. Here there is no supervision. And if you don't supervise yourself, you are literally going to fail. And I want to say, please, some of the things people are calling failure, even as they start, they know they are going to fail. You know why? And I will explain. You are not going to start a business with 50,000 and the rent is 25,000. And you are expecting to last for 6 months. And you are eating there and paying your home rent. You need to do the studies. You are learned, please. Even Gigi is here and all of us are here. Even before you start as there, ask yourself, what is the rent? We have our sister here. You can take advantage of the online business. Some of you don't have to start shops. Work from home. You see, COVID has brought a lot of blessings. COVID has brought a lot of blessings. And that is why, even students here, you don't have to wait to finish. Please, even when you are there, I'm very encouraged when I see young people who are still in school doing online business. Like they post an address, they know where to get it and where to sell it. I only tell you what is business. It is knowing where things come from and giving to the people where they don't know where they come from. That is solving a problem. For example, go to Isli, get a jeans with 700, take it to somebody in Kilimani, 2,500. That person does not know where Isli is. He only sees those jeans in Koinange Street at 2,500. You know they come from Isli at 700. You don't need a shop. You only need a smartphone, which we can donate for you if you don't have. So, some of you, I challenge you, please stop being lazy and engaging so much in internet and showing others. Use that, create that too. You know, you can sell the good thing. You can sell even something from China. I know of somebody who sold us these swimming pools are 80,000, imported at 15,000. A swimming pool is our watoto, tunawekeanga hapo nje. You know, kuna ile unaweza weka hewa, isimame hivi, ujaze maji. Show people like Gigi, hiyo, atakupea 80,000. Na umenunua 15. When I say Gigi, I'm saying there are people ukiwaonyesha if they see magic. They don't know where it comes from. Because of your intellect, you know where you can get it at 15,000.
Wow.
And there are so many things that you can do. You only need to look at, for example, what Otas is building. Endo katafute logs zinatokanga wapi na bei rahisi. Tell him I can supply you with logs. At 1,500. Logs zinatokanga 450.
Anigonge 1,000 yote.
So the idea is there is so much with this online thing.
Yeah.
Please invest in knowing vitu zinatokanga pesa ngapi. Na ukijua zinatokanga pesa ngapi, tembea kwa zile shops pande ingine ya juu, zinauzangwa pesa ngapi. In between, make business. Hallelujah.
Wow. Wow. I'm looking at that watch and I'm being reminded that we don't have a lot of time. So I want to take the next. I think we've addressed all the questions.
Alex has said.
Yes.
There's a certain lady. She's the director of Microsoft Africa Development Center. Her name is Catherine Muraga. She had a talk with us and she told us, in life, always have irreducible minimums. What do I mean? Okay, and in life, expect that sometime there are some balls that you're going to drop. You know a pendulum, the thing that goes like this. So it's very rare for that ball to be straight, right? So sometimes you'd be high, it comes low, sometimes goes the other way, but always have irreducible minimums. Your irreducible minimums can be 1, even if work is a lot, even if it rains, even if it doesn't rain, you will always wake up at 5 to pray.
Amen.
That can be one ball that you will never
We can clap for that point.
Another irreducible minimum you can have for us ladies, and I'm not ashamed to say, I remember when I was looking for internship, a certain man, he offered me internship, but at the expense of my dignity. I know you know what I mean.
Yes.
But I believe God is the author of my life. He's the one who has ordained those seats in every company that I'm to work in. And I remember I made a vow to God and to myself, I will always, or rather I will try to use my body for the glory of God. So when that man offered that. And you know, internships in campus, you have to go for the work-based learning so that you graduate. Graduation is a big thing. But for me, I didn't see graduation. I saw the bigger picture, which is God and my dignity. So even when you're doing your business, another ball that you should never drop is dignity, integrity, and I mean, build your brand. When someone mentions Nikki, let that person see professionalism. Let that person see truth. Let that person see love. When someone sees Kevin, let that person see Kevin is on time. Let that person see, I mean, the good things. And also, when your fellow members give you in church, when someone from church gives you work, don't take that work for granted. Usiseme, tuko na huyu kanisani. Si Biblia inasema tusameane. Hapana. The spirit of familiarity should not be. You should not walk with that spirit.
Emphasize on that point.
You should not have the spirit. Usizoe mtu. Because you never know that person. Because I've done a little bit of business and I've realized word of mouth is very important. Ninaweza jua naweza enda Isili kupata trouser 700 lakini so and so ananileteanga hadi kwa nyumba na 2500 na huyo hata kuwe na maandamano ama kuwe na nini ataniletea hiyo trouser akisema Thursday 12:30 ni Thursday 12:30. So you see, I mean, how many shops sell? Hata kuna zingine zina sell at 1500, at 1000 bob, but that person will choose you. So every work you're given, sanctuary keepers, mambo mwoshe kanisa. Naona kuna karatasi pale. You're like, hiyo hakuna mtu ataona. No, you pick it up. Because, I mean, God is your audience. God is always watching you. Yes. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Georgia Munga, thank you so much, watching all the way from Kajiado County. Alex, great. I like your simplicity as you explain. Things are not complex. Wow, thank you, our online viewers. Let the comments keep coming. Margaret, the last question in this bit. I know you've handled money. And a young man here is really worried about impulse. Pesa ikiingia tu hivi na nasikia mkono na mwasha. Ninunue. So how do you deal with impulse? Like you've just gotten money, you know, you didn't have anything in mind, but pesa imeingia, impulse buying. How do you deal with that as a young person? And I know it's not just that way, one person. I know a lot of us are affected. The moment kadil kameingia ka 10k, ka 20k, sasa ndo nasema bas, sherehe. Eh? How do you deal with impulse?
Impulse buying. So, two things. Maybe I'll use my personal experience because there's always a moment where we say, now you want to tell your body sorry because you have been toiling. Now you have to
Napigia mwili pole.
Yeah. So I think one, I always have the question about tithing. Where do you give gross or net? I stopped asking that question. I think when you mature, it's no longer is it net or gross. Tithe, even we should give 11%, no longer 10%. If God increases your salary, why not increase even your tithe? So it's about having a discipline first. So in everything I have to do, I have to give tithe, even if COVID is there or not there, or the strangest moment, I have learned to give extra 11%. So by doing that first, and then there's the bit of delayed gratification. I want to have that home theater, I want to have that 53-inch, I want to have that good seat, that when you go home, this is my palace. But there's some things you delay a bit, because you want to talk about your saving. We have many ways of saving, apart even from circles, money market. We have bills and bonds, as in there are a lot of places you can save. So I put my salary, first I do my tithe, do my saving, see money for my bills, and then the little I'll remain with. So what is necessary? Do I need to have this new dress this time? Or do I really need to have this new shoe? Or do I need to have this? That you have disciplined yourself. This month, this is my target. At the end of the year, I want to buy a washing machine. So how much do I need to? I want to go for a holiday, so I have to have a holiday account. And there's one person who had taught us that you should have different accounts that when you have emergency, it doesn't cause an alarm everywhere you have to shout, I need help. But you have an emergency kit where you have emergency. my holiday account I have, I know I need to go to Dubai next summer. I need to pay for this for my sister. I need to do. So having different accounts assigned for specific things. You don't need to have 10,000 to save. It's small money you're having, but having a discipline of putting. And then the extras, the extra monies we have, there are always people who have weddings, people who have this and this. So those little things, you can spare for that. But the other thing about having the main job, you can even have other extra places you're getting some income. So those extra jobs helps you also to have some extra coin for other extra things you want to do, because you want to hang out with your friends. But someone asked one time, every time when you go for coffee with that friend of yours and you spend some money to buy that coffee, have you calculated that I could have done this and this with that money in particular? Because at your 20s, that is the best time you can save a lot of money. That by the time you are in your 30s, even if you want to marry, you don't need to call us for harambe or something. But I have some portion, I can work with this. I just need some top up from people. So having a plan, strategic plan that I love to have this, but delayed gratification and a discipline and consistency. That is the best way to take about it.
Wow. Delayed gratification. Wow, I agree. Melody, familiarity is quite something amongst brethren, so let's stop it. Integrity is what we call fear of God. I want to take the last round of questions because I want us to finish in the next 10 minutes. So there were some hands that were up back there. Yes. Can start with the lady over here, then the two gentlemen. Yes, here, yes.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Alice Wamboy. I'm a student in NIBS pursuing fashion and interior design. My question goes to Mr. Alex. I also do a business in school. I sell machine parts to the students. So I was asking, how did you manage doing this in school? When you are studying, and you are doing your business, and you are studying, I'm sure you are passing your exams. So I was asking, how did you manage doing this with ease? And especially now for me, I don't deal with people outside the school. I deal with students in school, and especially now people doing fashion and interior. So I was asking, how did you do it with ease? And maybe you can share some wisdom that will help even others who are doing or want to do this. Thank you.
All right. There's another person back there.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Joseph Kimanzi. You've shared quite a number of nuggets, and we appreciate. I've taken quite a number of notes, but I still have some space to write the 25 businesses that you can do without money. So please don't forget to mention that. Now, my question goes to Mr. Alex. You said that you've been in the marketplace for the last 22 years, and I believe you are a champion there. So, and it's always good to examine some success habits of champions. You've talked about discipline, consistency, passion. What are other success habits that one can emulate and be successful? Again, can you really share with us your daily routines? Like, how many hours do you sleep, you people? What time do you wake up? What do you do after you wake up? How is your day like? Because I think some of us, those are the basic things that we need. Thank you so much.
Wow. I think some of these questions we will send you direct to Alex, and you spend a day with him. I know he's very welcoming, and he can host you, by the way. Just spend a day with him and just practical things. We want practical things. Hatutaki vitu tunaongea hapa ni kama stories za jaba, sawa? Tunataka vitu practical. Anyway, yes, Eric, yes.
Hi, my name is Eric. I have a question for anyone. So those who are working, sometimes when retirement is mentioned, people fear. We've seen even big guys. So what would you advise us as young people to, how can we prepare? My second one is a comment. My brother here, Wado, asked about wildlife management. I've done wildlife management, and I'm working with the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. so we can talk about it.
You already have a mentor, you see?
Yeah.
We said your destiny connector is here. We are doing things practically. So you see the practical one has just been. So what you are sorted. In fact, that question is now null and void. Yes, where is the mic?
It's here.
Okay.
Oh, praise God.
Amen.
I want to ask a very hilarious question. Yeah, but I know it has something. My question is it true that marriage attracts wealth in the marketplace? Because you see, when you look at when people have gotten married, when you compare to when they were single, it's kind of in the marketplace, they take them so serious and they give them so serious things. So is it true? Can you confirm?
Wow. I think you are trying to dislodge Maggie from the panel, but it's fine. Yes. Yes. Let's take us. Any other person? I think that is the last question. Any other person? Yes. Okay.
Okay, praise Jesus. I'm George Wanderi. I would like to direct my question to Pastor JJ. You know, you've been speaking about starting a business, whereby majority or 80% they're asking themselves, ini biashara gani nitaweka, which business? Maybe others are thinking of boutique, others maybe M-Pesa. But I believe the other areas we can invest. So Pastor JJ, like there was a time I was doing follow-up about shares. Maybe you can invest, start buying some shares. As I move on, I can decide to sell them. I can decide to keep them for my pension. So there are other areas where we can invest apart from maybe opening that business. I believe there are other areas we can invest. Please help. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Yes, the first lady has a question.
Hi, good evening. I have a question for this young person who has pressure from within to get married. And this person is maybe 23, 24, and this person has come to you as the youth pastor and is like, I want to get married. How do you advise this person, knowing the responsibilities that are in marriage? Is it in order to tell them to go to school, to at least pursue a diploma, a degree first? Or because you might tell them to get married and it might get tricky. How do you advise this person?
Ameshapenda mtu, amependa mtu.
Amependa mtu.
Na mtu amempenda.
But tunaona huyu anaweza enda
Yeah.
shule, anaweza pata
Yeah.
degree, anaweza pata diploma. This person wants to get married.
Okay.
Is it in order to tell them, please hold fast, soma kwanza before you continue with studies? Ama one time atakulaumu aseme, I had fallen in love, I had gotten my person, then nikaambiwa nirudi shule niachane na ndoa. So now I am desperate looking for another partner. So where is the line?
All right, I think that's the last question. Matthew, you have a question? Okay.
Praise the Lord. This is the question that I have to pose to all of us. Especially, okay, for example, I am employed and I am busy all through, let's say 8 hours, but I would like to start a business. Then I'm looking for somebody to put in the place. And you know, you can have a desire, maybe can I put a brother or a sister, depending on the nature of the business. Fortunately, there is this tendency of age. In terms, I'm trying to speak about age. And you employ somebody who's maybe you are in the same age bracket. And you know, we have a lot of activities. You will realize that somebody has used the money. Maybe she has gone to photo shoot, or he has decided to go treat himself also. What are the requirements when, as a young man, trying to get somebody who can handle a business for you? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for those questions. I think the The aspect of balancing school and business, we had tackled it at some point. But Alex, in just maybe a one-liner, because it was directed to you, in just one-liner, maybe you just can respond in just like 30 seconds so that we can move to these other questions. Balancing of school and business. She's doing business and she's still in school.
Yes, thank you very much. I think that is a good question. Going to my example for like what I was doing, we used to have very long vacations in campus, 3 months and above. So I took advantage of that because I was doing the distribution of polythene bags. And even after I go back to school, I trained my brother. We had customers. So he actually, after when I'm going to school tomorrow, I'll just give him the book of all the current tasks, and he took up. So that's how I used to manage during school. So because I was dealing with something outside school. For yours is good because you are within the school, you can know how to balance your times, but mine was during vacations. So I think I may not know how it happens because I think the school times and have changed a lot. Evening, I may not give the best wisdom. I utilized hours because you used to have very long vacations. Yes.
All right. I want to move quite fast. I think on the question of 25 businesses that you can start without money, I want to believe that you allow us to do that homework so we can send those notes. And I want Alex and Gigi to promise us that they will send us those notes. And I will ensure that I follow up and I will post them in our groups, if that's okay with us. Is that fine with us? Yes, so that we don't have to go through that list now. So that is homework that I will follow up so that we can post them in the groups. But habits of champions. Maybe Pastor Gigi, because I know you deal with strategies and you do business consultancy, business development, and you also deal with HR issues in terms of training human, how do you call them? The HR people. I know you train them in the marketplace and you train them to become champions. So what are some of the habits, might not be exhaustive, but what are some of the habits that you instill in them during these trainings?
Okay. Now that's a very big question, and sometimes it varies from person to person. And I think for you to learn the best habits, first of all, our lives are basically a sum total of the little things we do every day. You wake up, you read your Bible, you take your tea, whatever you do. If you look at your life clearly, you can see the patterns, the things that if you got sick and you didn't do them, you would feel very lost. All right? So that's how to really check. So, but having said that, I'd like to say that successful people, different people are successful using different strategies. There are some people who hardly work, but they make money. So there's no one size fits all. I think you have to find your own formula for success. But I think one of the things that is very clear, successful people are passionate and very goal-oriented, very seriously goal-oriented and disciplined, right? So goal-oriented, when your goals are very clear, it doesn't matter how long it takes, you will get there, right? So, so the minute you lose the goal, you lose the motivation. So if you decide to move in a certain direction, set your goal very clear, be very clear what you want to do, and also be able to measure, right? How much have I, reflect, how far have I gone? How far am I from my goal, all right? So you motivate yourself by having very, very solid goals, very clear. If you can write them down, the better. And then, of course, a good goal should be broken down. So if you want to save 100,000 this year, by the end of this year, that's 12 months, you can break it down. Every month I'll be saving this amount. So your success is really a result, it can be measured in terms of, did I do it this month? Yes. Did I save the money? Yes. I'm successful. You understand? It's not so much the end, but what you're doing now. So you can actually you can tell whether you are actually living by the principles of success by asking yourself, I promised myself last week that this week I'll read 2 pages of this book. If you have not read the book, then you can measure your success. Your success is a failure as far as we are concerned. It's not finishing the book, it's reading the 2 pages you said. Do you understand? So have short-term goals, long-term, break them into short-term, and then measure the success for the short-term. You will see a movement. And of course, success builds on success. If you build some little success today, will give you momentum for success tomorrow. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Margaret, do you have a retirement plan? A retirement plan?
I think I do. No, the way the government, they say 60 years you should retire.
Yeah.
So if you are 30, you know you are 30 years for your retirement plan. So I think the employer every time he has to tell you have to have some amount where you are deducted. But in particular, I will desire to retire. Even in my old age, I want to bear fruits which remain. So I am looking forward that I'll have that ranch in my retirement, me and my husband somewhere, and we have everything in that homestead. But, I can only be there when I started planning it now. So it's good, it is very important. If you don't know how to save it now, you can look for different companies, and they have Britam, Our Lady, Mercy's there, can help you to know how do you plan about retirement. But I know most of the employment places, NSSF, which is for the national fund, but there are other things which you can, the other companies which can help you to have a retirement. But it's important for you to have a retirement plan. The same way it is important for you to have a medical insurance plan.
Wow.
So I think it is important.
Wow. I don't know if anyone wants to add on that before I go to the next question. Let's move on. Okay.
Yes, let me comment on that. Okay. There are different ways of, and I like my sisters really exaggerated them very well, but you can also view it in that way. You can also, for example, because you said you have an advantage of time, you can invest in assets. And this you can do, for example, if you cannot buy something as a person, you can join as a group. Remember, there is some value that my sister said here about integrity. If you come 5 people who you trust one another and say that we are going to buy a plot in Kamulu for 500, I tell you, 10 years down the line, you will sell that plot at 5 million. Ask GG, and we said we can speak our lives. In Kasarani, he bought a plot. I know he bought it very cheap. At the moment, it's worth over 30 million. Those stories will keep on repeating themselves. There are things you can do long term. There are others you can do short term. You can use the savings because they are small things. But now come up as people who you trust one another, people of Life Church. Set a goal in 5 years, you are going to buy 1 acre in Kilifi. I'm telling you, you will sell it at a lot of money. And look at it long term. So you can explore. There are many ways to save and invest and secure your retirement.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Mercy, does marriage attract wealth? I know you're married. So can you say that since you got married now, kakitu kameingia jando?
I thank God I have a rich husband, so I'm richer.
Wow. We thank God for the husbands.
But that was on a light note.
Yeah.
I have come to appreciate the unit of marriage, though I have not been there for long. But it's good we educate each other. And let me just be honest, I am not a saver. I am a spender. My sister can attest. Mimi ni wale wa pea mwili pole. But then, yes, I have woken up very early in the morning to look for this money. Let me spend it. But my husband on the other side, he's a saver with a plan. So being now in marriage, I have developed the culture of saving, courtesy or thanks to my husband. And I can do a lot of things which when I was single, I Oh my God, I didn't do anything. My sister can attest. So yes, it's true. Again, 2 is better than 1. There are cases or there are situations, some would tell me something, then I go pray, because my mother told me a woman is prayer, you just don't give solutions. And after praying, you advise in a certain way, and it has honest, I have seen the fruits. For instance, our chicken business, we sell eggs, layers, so if you want 100 trays, you tell us. You see, when we were both single, none of us did it when we were apart. But now that we've come together, we've been able to put our minds together, and God commands a blessing also where there is unity.
Okay.
So God commanded a blessing. I am happy that we are, God has blessed us with that venture, and yes, marriage makes you more wealthy.
Wow. Meanwhile, you'll pay for free marketing because you've just marketed on my show. Anyway, Pastor Gigi, I know you want to come in on this.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Actually, you know, my mother actually is the one who used to say that. She would say it in Kikuyu. "Mũndũ muka ndatongaga." You know, a person without a wife never gets rich. So, translated, all right? So, and I think it's true. You know, people just get wasteful until when there is a wife in the house. So once, now, anakuna mahali anaenda, you know, she's there, she's here today, she's there tomorrow. You know, having a friend, that's different.
Yeah.
But a wife, my friend, she's
Aendi.
stuck there.
Aendi.
So vijana mtu anaamuka tu, you know, especially the young people, the young men, not the women, the young men. You know, I warn you, I think the day you get married, that's when you wake up. You realize actually you can't sleep after 5. You know, so sleep just disappears. So that way, and it's good. It pushes you. So marriage is good. Don't wait to be rich to get married. Just get married, and then you'll be forced to be rich.
Wow. Young man, tuko pamoja. Just get married. After 5, hata kama ulikuwa unalala mpaka 10, usingizi itaenda. I am not speaking for myself. I think the other question was on business opportunities or investments. I want to leave that one and add it to the 25 businesses so that we do that as our homework. Now, there's this question that was asked, and maybe probably Gigi or Alex, you can respond. This young person comes at probably 21, 22, you know, I want to get married. They have not yet gone, they don't even have a diploma, you know, they just finished high school and they're like, mimi nimepata mtu, you know, you're a pastor, you're a youth pastor, because now waliambiwa church, if you want to get married, have you talked to your youth pastor? Inform him, then he'll inform the marriage pastor. You know the procedure. So they're here and they're telling you they want to get married. But from your simplistic analysis, this person is not ready. And if you look at the dynamics in marriage, probably you've been there a few years, and you know in your heart of hearts, this is not the right thing that this person should do. But they are convinced they have fallen in love. And the other person is also in love with them. Then they want to get married. I know this might not be directly marketplace. But remember we said marriage attracts wealth. So these people, they are going to get married. Are they going to attract poverty? Or should we just allow them to get married? I don't know that. Gigi or Alex, who wants to go first on this? Because I know you've come across such scenarios, because you're like, you could go to school, you know, you could maybe pursue some career, you can do a certificate course or something, but they are very sure they want to get married.
Okay. I think you should get married when you have the conviction. You know, so if you want to get married, there's nothing to stop you from doing that, to getting married. And you can go to school the following week after your wedding. So there's no problem. When I was even when I was in university, there was a guy, by the way, there was a gentleman who was a member of our class, no, not our class, we were in college together, and those people we used to have so much respect for them. because we were student bachelors, and then there were student but married, and they weren't even staying in the campus. You know, they were like different animals. So, so I don't know whether it is to discourage you from getting married, because I think it is difficult for me to actually determine that for you. You understand? So I think nobody should discourage you from getting married if that's what you want at that point, and the other person you want to get married to also want to marry you. You know, you understand? You might be wanting to get married, but you're forcing yourself on somebody who is probably not ready to marry you. So, but if the two of you are willing to go into that criminal act of marriage, please go ahead. We will pray for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then you can go to. I can give you an example. This Julia Bogwa, I mean, most people, she founded Home Care Fellowship. She got married, I think, at the age of 16 or 17. And she was going to school after she had her 7 children. That's when she went to school, went to high school, studied and earned her master's and all that. So she did it the other way around. She got married first, got her babies, then went to school. You understand? So you can reverse. There is no rule. There is no set rule. That's my small. I know I've thrown a stone into your program. So, but so in other words, yeah. But Alex has another story. Yeah.
I think there was age mentioned there 23 years, and if somebody is 23 and he has not gone to college, I think he also wants to get married. And I think I will echo Gigi and say, at that particular point, when he brings the question, you only need to ask a few hard questions to determine whether he's really ready. Yes. Because you need to, where you are going to stay, how are you living, what is your support system? Because the education can come behind. And to answer that correctly, I think I can say, suppose maybe this person is saying, I want to get married, but I have no job. Now that's why I would say, the age to marry has come, but you have no money. This is where I say, and remember we said we are Christians. We have to employ faith. When times for marrying comes, and the age is ripe, and you have somebody who has loved you and loved him, please get married. That is where faith comes, and all the people who are married here and this side and outside will tell you God will intervene. Yeah. If it is the right season, it's only resources which are not there, get married. And don't delay yourself saying, I cannot even approach a lady or a man because I have no job. Honestly, you are delaying your seasons. I want to say categorically, and I think it's not bad to give my example. I finished university in 2001, and I got married the following year in December 2002. My wife,
very fast.
When we wanted to introduce ourselves, she had not graduated. I just started business. It was not very firm. But you see, I want to get married. I'm at 25. Mimi si ule mzee ati niko na mahali pengine na angalianga. Utaniambia nini? Because the determinant should not be money. The determinant should be, at that particular time, what needs to be done. Can it be done? Yes. The pastor is there to marry me. The venue is here. What is the problem? And I think when we challenge God like that, and I want to speak honestly, you see, let's not keep talking about faith, which we are not using. Because you are waiting for money. So if you can only plan when there is something in the account, if you can only plan when you have support system, only say you are using strategy. You're not using faith.
You're not using.
So what is the importance of church now? Please get married. Why? Years are getting up.
Get married.
You are increasing age.
Get married.
Get married, and you will get rich. Amen.
Get married, you'll get rich. Wow. I mean, I wish you could end this interview there. But there's this last question, that you are a young man, probably you have the 8 to 5 job, you have a side business, and you want to employ someone, but you know, you're like, I employ somebody who is older than you, because kikiumana, you don't know how you'll probably shout at this person. or how you'll discipline this person. So you want to employ your age mate, but the challenge comes in, your age mate has a lot of uses with the money. So they are very busy with the money. You go there, you find that ametumia pesa leo, kesho ametumia hii pesa. So how do you now manage this business? And you also want to be an employer. You want to support your people, you know. There's maybe probably someone you're in school with, you know, they are not yet somewhere. So naambia kuja nishikilia hapa. But again ukimpea pale pa kushikilia anakuangusha. So how do you manage that?
Yes, that's a very good question and a very practical one. Because remember, we are encouraging all of us to start extra income. But we want to caution you. You must do your studies clearly. It's not just starting something that is what you need. You need to look at, is that thing sustainable? For example, how available are you? Stop even a blowing person. How often are you coming to be checking the records? And what kind of business are you starting? Is it something that you can really evaluate? For example, you open a shop where you are selling milk and sweets. You know very well you cannot count sweets. So I would encourage before you even start employing somebody, think about the business to start. How can you evaluate what has been sold and what has not been sold? Because there are things you just start and you unaanza pressure. So about the person to employ, I mean, not tell you don't employ somebody who is old or young. But the issue to employ, not that I want to help my colleague, apate kazi. That is not something to make. It must be an employer. Do you have qualities for the person that you want? If I tell you, and let me with caution say, some of you fail in that. If I employ you, you may be reporting at 7:30, and there is no question. There is no pole. There is no kulikuwa na maandamano ama jam. And even if I'm a church person, please you will go. Because if you are not open, you have to be strict. Because if the clinic has to be opened, it has to be opened. We cannot be, people are queuing from 7, you are coming at 8. So you need to know, what do you want as you employ that person? Develop the qualities. Gigi ako hapa anaweza kusaidia. Akufanyishie interview. Because you know you can't choose for yourself. Utahurumia mtu. Don't employ somebody because unamhurumia. Wacha mashida yake ikae, ama mazuri yake ikae, but look for the perfect person. Because people are there. Kuna watu wanataka kazi, wanaweza fanya hata kama ni kuuza time.
All right.
But most importantly, look at the business that you're employing. Business that you can supervise without a lot of, because you have another job, remember you are also employed. You can be remotely controlling. Maybe there are systems. Our sister can help us here with the systems to check what has been sold, even when you are at work. Wow. No, you can even say, I'm seeing business saying, tumeenda M-Pesa, hakuna cash. You can be cashless, and that's a good way. Ikilipa ina reflect kwa account yako.
Yeah.
You need to be strict so that there is no cash interference. Yes, and there are things to do.
All right. So,
yeah, I think it's a big question. They need to come for the seminar. Our next seminar with Alex.
and they pay something.
Yeah.
They pay something.
Pardon?
And they pay something for the seminar.
Oh yes, yeah. So thank you.
Anyway, I think I want to end this here. Somebody saying, get married, you will be forced to be rich. Georgia Munga saying, get married, you will get rich. I like the Judy Mbugwa story, that is faith. Thank you so much, our online followers and viewers. We have to end it there from the online section. Back to us here as we close the show. You know, you're a host, so you know what I'm about to say. We want the parting shots. So I think I'll just take a parting shot, starting with Alex, and we'll end here at Gigi before we call it quits for the day. Sorry guys, it is you who've been asking questions anyway, so I have not eaten your time. But Alex, maybe you can give us in just maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds your parting shot, then Melody, Maggie, and then Pastor Gigi.
Thank you very much for having me in the forum. My parting shot is, remember we are Christians. I will end by Deuteronomy 8:18. God gives us the power to make wealth. There must be a place of the supernatural, engaging God and doing the things that you cannot know. When you look at our lives, there should be something you have attempted and saying to yourself, if it were not God, I would not have done this. I will leave you with this. Don't just use the methodology and the structures provided by the system and the education. Let's learn to engage God, and it will give us the strength to make well, even to direct us in the places that where we need to be. May God bless you.
Okay. Yes, Melody.
Thank you so much for having me on this talk today. I have really learned a lot from my fellow panelists. I always have a mantra. I call it the ABCs in life. So A, always put God first in everything. B, believe in yourself. And C, challenge yourself in everything. That's all.
Wow. The ABC of life. Maggie.
Thank you too for allowing me to be here. In the marketplace, in terms of a medical professional, it can be challenging. Some people faint when they see blood. Some they are scared of seeing people crying. So different spheres. But what I want to encourage each and everyone, even as you have been trained in different cadres, one thing which remains true is God is our great physician. And we follow the step of our great physician. So let have the compassion. Let us utilize the moment and give just hope to a hurting world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen. Yeah, mine is to appreciate all of you for having given us the opportunity to sit here, answer your questions. And we want to wish you well. I believe that young people have the potential of what it is. Let nobody tell you that you can't do something. You have what it takes. So use everything you have. Explore your full potential in Christ. And remember, that wisdom comes from above. So apply yourself and trust in God with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him. He will direct your path. God bless you. Amen.
Amen. Wow. So I hope we've gotten the pin of that ATM as something has been revealed. So we'll not be rushing for the cash, but all of us will be going for that ATM card. Because once you have the pin, as you've heard, there's a lot of money in that account than the cash you can see at hand. That has been our time. We thank you so much for gracing this occasion and event and being here the whole day. It's not in vain. These baby steps that you've taken today, they will come a long way. And trust you me, you'll remember the 30th of July 2023 that there was a panel at Kenya Cinema. God bless you. I want to invite John, Pastor John Kigo, maybe to close for us at this junction. Thank you.
Can we appreciate our panelists?